Welcome to One of Those, a show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. So listen, I'm feeling good today, man. The fall is almost here. The weather isn't quite as hot. My Commanders won yesterday. It's a rare time when I can say that, but I got positive vibes for this season. I'm feeling good. Football is on in general. Things are just good right now. Oh, and by the way, when I'm recording this episode is my wedding anniversary, so I'm just a happy man right now. I'm in a good mood, and also, I'm not above being petty. Sometimes I just like to be right. So on today's episode, we're going to recap our conversation about Kanye West yesterday because that one caused a lot of controversy, and I got a lot of comments and a lot of people asking certain questions, and there is new news on that one. So I'm going to spend some time talking about Kanye, okay? And then after that, I'm digging in the crates. I got an interview with my man, TheRealHeGotSoles, my good dude, master at refurbishing sneakers, making sure your sneakers are right, man, because this conversation about Kanye is all about entrepreneurship versus corporate America. That's what I talked about last week. That's what I'm going to touch on a little bit this week. And my man, TheRealHeGotSoles, is the ultimate entrepreneur. And I love focusing on entrepreneurs on this show, especially people within the sneaker community, because there's so much opportunity within sneakers to make some money, not just spend it, but to make it. So let's talk about Kanye in a second. But before that, I want to let you guys know that you can subscribe to the Up On Game Network. You know what to do, man. And I'm saying this for a reason, okay? This isn't like a cheap plug. I'm just saying that we got a lot of dope stuff coming up on this network and a lot of new shows coming up on this network, man. We got something for everybody. Sports, social issues, entertainment, comedy, all of it, man. Any sport you could think of, basketball, football, boxing, esports, all of it we have on this network, man. I'm a big supporter of this one. I'm happy to be part of this team, all right? So subscribe and go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube so you can watch this episode, because next week I am going to premiere my fall sneakers, okay? Next week we're going to do the fall sneakers. I was just going to put that as a TikTok exclusive, but I'm going to put my fall sneakers on this podcast, so you're going to want to watch the YouTube version of this one along with listening to the podcast, because it's going to be a visual thing too. All right, so check me out next week. YouTube, Up On Game Network, Up On Game Presents. Get with us. All right. Without further ado, let's talk about Kanye West. Let's update the people on what's going on with Kanye, and then we're going to get into my man, TheRealHeGotSoles. Okay, quick recap of the Kanye situation. I'm not going to spend a lot of time recapping, because you guys can really just go listen to the past episode and find out a lot about it. Okay, Kanye is upset with the Gap. Kanye is upset with Adidas. He wants to leave the brand because he feels like the Gap is not honoring an agreement that he had with them in terms of opening stores and things like that. And he's upset with Adidas because he feels like they not only have not honored the agreement that he says he's had with the brand, but he feels like they've been stealing his designs and stealing his intellectual property. Okay, couple of things I want to make clear about last week's show, because a lot of people felt like I was just crapping on Kanye. I'm not here to crap on Kanye West. His antics get on my nerves sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna come on this show and lie, and I'm definitely not going to cap for clout. Like, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like I have to pretend like I like a designer's or a rapper or influencer in this business. I don't have to pretend like I like their antics. I don't have to do that. Does Kanye make dope sneakers? Yes. Is Kanye a very creative person? Yes. Does Kanye make great music? Yes. Do I like Kanye's approach to things? No, it's not how I would approach things. So I have every right to critique what Kanye says and does, because he makes it public all the time. Now, I'm not talking about his relationship and his love life or anything like that. I'm not even talking about like mental health issues. I'm talking about the business of streetwear and sneakers. That's what we talk about on this show. That's what Kanye's been talking about. All right. So my stance last week is still my stance. All right. It was going to be difficult for him to get out of that contract. And when you're sharing technology and materials with a brand, the relationship requires synergy. you're getting pieces off of Adidas that you would have never had, and they're getting ideas from you that they would have never had. Okay? So every time you want to make a new sneaker, a basketball sneaker, a runner, or a slide, right? A croc or whatever you want to call those things, that's Adidas technology. Now, if Adidas decides they're going to borrow or take, inspiration from some of your designs and make something else, I understand that's frustrating, but that is the risk you run when you sign with a major brand. I talked about all this last week, okay? So there is a major update to the Kanye West thing. Okay, I got my glasses out, so you know what that means. Hold on. It's Reading Rainbow time. You know what it is. Shout out to Reading Rainbow, man. That was one of my favorite shows, man. Reading Rainbow time. Got the glasses on. I'm going to be reading. This is from Bloomberg. This is a quote from Bloomberg Business, okay? Exclusive. Kanye West says he's done with corporate deals like Adidas and Gap and plans to go it alone in the fashion industry from now on. Quote, no more companies standing in between me and the audience. Cool. That sounds great. I think that's what he should have done a long time ago. In fact, I think I mentioned this on the last episode. There was this infamous interview. I may have mentioned this on the last interview. I'm not sure. I got one more thing to read in a moment too. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but there's this infamous interview with Sway in the Morning, right? I think I talked about this, and Sway is going on about like, hey, starting your own industry. We all know this. I don't got to tell the story. The whole, hey, you ain't got to answer Sway thing. Sway saying, hey, go it alone. You know what I mean? Do your own thing. You got money. I understand it's hard. I understand you would like to do it another way, but you got bread. Why don't you go out there and start this? By the way, this conversation is close to 10 years old. By now, Kanye probably would have been well ahead, especially for a person like him who knows how much money he would have made off the Yeezy brand, right? And off Yeezy sneakers. Who knows? I don't know. Listen, I want to talk about brand loyalty in a minute, but just for the sake of argument, Kanye West is extremely popular. People almost worship at the altar of Kanye. He has a legion of fans. I'm sure he would have sold sneakers. I'm sure he would have sold clothes. And I'm sure he would have been able to figure out a way to manufacture his stuff. Would have been high end or as high end as he wanted? No, but that's why you get with people that can offer high end materials. So, again, that's just my opinion. But I think this is the route that Kanye should go because he is independent minded. A lot of people had issues with me talking about working with corporate and accepting that corporate is going to, feed off your ideas. And I understand that, especially when I put the clips out in isolation, like, on a TikTok or something like that. I understand how it may seem like I'm just saying, hey, man, your IP is gone. You just got to give up your IP. I understand that. I'm not saying that you should give up your IP at all times. I have several different brands and ideas that I would not let a corporation touch because it's something that I want to do. The artist in me wants to use that and create that and keep growing that myself. The Butler did it podcast, some of my films, other things I've worked on. This podcast, and by the way, the people that I work with do treat me well, and I think we do have a great relationship, and I've been nothing but satisfied working with them, But hey, again, as I share this brand with other brands, especially huge brands, we have to come up with ideas together. I can't just go rogue and say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing, and no matter what is my way or the highway. It's not going to work like that. It just isn't. And you all understand that. You all, people listening to this show have 9 to 5s. People listening to the show have partnerships. You know how that goes. And that's why I was so turned off about what Kanye was doing, because I felt like there was no respect for the people he works with. Now, I don't know the people at Adidas very well. I know some people that work with Adidas. The people that I know that work with Adidas have been on the show, and they're good friends of mine and people that I respect. But I don't know the CEO of Adidas. I'm not that in the loop. Okay, so I don't know, and I certainly am not privy to the conversations that Kanye and the folks over at Adidas or Gap have had with Kanye West. Like I'm not privy to these conversations. I don't know. All I'm hearing is Kanye West's side, and even from hearing his side, I'm thinking, man, that's not the way to go about a partnership. Okay, Now, remember, I mentioned last week that Kanye West was demanding to be dropped from his Adidas deal by a certain date. It would have been last Tuesday, the day that this episode dropped last week. We would have heard that Kanye West had been dropped or released from his contract per his demand. And remember, I looked right in this camera and I said, hell no, that's not going to happen. There's no way that's going to happen. Well, it hasn't happened. I'm not hating on this man. I'm not taking joy in a failure. What I am saying is there's a way to do business and there's a way to do things, okay? Sometimes you do have to go hard. Sometimes you do have to stand tall on your beliefs. But holding people hostage via social media is not the way to go. Kanye West will be working with Adidas for at least 4 more years, 2026. So let's call it 3.5 more years. 2026 is when that contract lets up. His Gap contract is until 2030. So in 2030, Kanye West will be able to do his own thing. Now, mind you, he's a young man. I'm not saying that, it's not a death sentence, but it's different than what we were hearing last week. When you try to blackmail people or force people's hands publicly, I'm just never a fan of that. There's so many ways to handle business. That ain't one, and I knew it was not going to work. Okay, so let's talk about what the future of Yeezy sneakers may or may not be. I'm not going to deal with the Gap because honestly, this show isn't really about what's going on with the Gap. I mean, we talk about streetwear, but I don't really care what's going on with the Gap, to be honest with you. Let's talk about the sneakers, the Yeezy sneaker, okay? A lot of people online have been saying this. Shout out to my man Mike Sykes. He's been on the show several times. I think he made an excellent point. We may not see any real innovation with the Yeezy for another 3 years. We may only see recycled colorways and models for the next 3 years. This could be a crucial blow to that brand. And the reason why I say that is because, say what you want about Kanye West, that brand was innovative in the sneaker world. What was happening with Yeezy sneakers between Adidas and Kanye's ideas was changing how other brands were approaching the way they design sneakers, the way the technology that they implemented in sneakers. You can look at New Balance, and in some cases you can look at Nike, you can look at Asics, and you can see Puma. You can see how they reacted to what Yeezy was doing, to what Kanye West and his brand was doing. Okay, they'll definitely release Yeezys. Okay, it's too much money involved to not release them. All right. But Adidas is in a tough spot now because I don't think that man is going to give it his all. If he's already saying, hey, listen, I'm just going to ride out these next 3 years. I'm not even going to, holler at me in 2026. And damn, the Gap, holler at me in 2030. I'm going to do my own thing. Do we really see Kanye West as a person that's going to go, you know what? By the honor, sister, I'm just going to work hard and do my thing and give you my all until our contract is up? No. We definitely don't see that. I'm speaking for you right now. You in your heart of hearts know that man ain't going to do that. Okay? You know it. So that brand, I'm just curious what it's going to look like in 2024 or this time next year. Are we going to see new models, new silhouettes, new technology, brand new ideas? If he's just waiting out the wave, why would he give them more ideas? It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens over there. I don't envy anybody in this position, and I don't envy Adidas at all. They are in a tough spot. It's going to be really difficult to utilize that brand other than basically retroing stuff that had already come out. And hey, that'll work for a few because there are Yeezys, even though most of those 350s, man, I don't know, a lot of people cop. You've already done re-releases of them. It's not like certain Jordan colorways, right? a certain like Air Max or whatever that we haven't seen in like 20 years, you know, and even Jordan is starting to run low on the colorways. We'll have to start creating new colorways, right? It's tough. It's tough because the thing Yeezy had going for itself, for Kanye had going for itself, Kanye West had going for himself, and Yeezy had going for itself is something new can come out. Something brand new, not like a different colorway of an older model, right? Something brand new could come out, a sneaker you never seen before, and most people react, oh my God, that's ugly, but the hype beast will say, you know what, I'm gonna cop this, and then all of a sudden, that's a popular sneaker. Okay, so I'm interested to see what happens here. Okay, now that's fast forward to the year 2026. And let's assume Kanye is a man of his word, and Kanye is going to get off the Adidas brand and start doing his own thing. Can the Yeezy brand compete with Nike and Adidas? Man, I'm sitting here in 2022 saying, I don't think so. But, and that's my answer, I don't think so. Okay? It's really, really difficult to surpass those two giants for many reasons too. It's not just about hype sneakers. I talk about this all the time. When your uncle want to just buy a pair of running shoes, you know, they usually get a Adidas or a Nike. Nike is just entrenched in our culture, in the world's culture. It's a behemoth that can't be knocked down. Adidas is extremely close to Adidas. Adidas is extremely close to Nike, about as close as you can get to Nike. And I don't see that being knocked down. But can it compete with New Balance? Can it compete with Asics? I'm interested to see if that can happen. I'm curious to see if that can happen. I'm not going to doubt this man because the popularity and the loyalty that he has to his brands is unmatched. When it comes to startups and new stuff, the only thing that can match it and surpass it is the two brands we just talked about, Nike and Adidas. And I may be giving Kanye too much credit, but I do believe that his stuff will sell no matter what. I see his clothing. Sometimes we don't talk about that. I'm not really sure how well the clothing does. And that's a good litmus to see how well his sneakers would do. But I'm not going to doubt this man. I support this move. Brand loyalty is a real thing. Nike and Adidas, we're always going to buy those. People have been buying those brands for as long as I've been alive. Okay, and I'm 40 years old. So 40 years, right? Surely longer though. But the move to do it independently, especially the temperament that Kanye West has, the type of businessman that he is, the creative that he is. If he's serious about doing this and he's just going to play the long game and say, you know what, in 2030, I would have already been on my Adidas deal and I'm going to get out of this Gap deal. I'm just going to do my own thing. More power to that man. More power to you, bruh. I think that's the way to go. But how you've been doing it the past couple of weeks, I can't support. So we're going to see. Let me know what you think at home, man. Do you think that Kanye and the Yeezy brand could survive on its own? Let me know. Hit me up. Hit me up on the comments. Hit me up on my email. Hit me up on Twitter, wherever it is. Let me know what you think. All right. Now that that's out the way, my man, TheRealHeGotSoles, one of the best shoe restorators in the nation, in my opinion, and he's doing it from the mud. He's getting it from the ground up. This is one of the hardest working brothers I know. I'm so extremely proud of him because he's been doing it for years. I spoke with him a while back. I'm going to share that interview with you guys right now. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Listen, man, I know you as probably the go-to guy. I'm not even trying to cite you. I'm really not. You know what I mean? I'll not try to cite you because you're here, but I feel like you're the go-to guy when it comes to sneaker restoration. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know about TheRealHeGotSoles. You've been at it for a minute. I think this is actually a very important aspect to the culture and to the game. We're going to get into that in a second. But
Okay.
just talk to me about how you got into sneaker restoration, because I think that's an interesting thing to decide. Like, you know what, I want to try to restore people's heat. You know what I mean? How'd you get into that?
So, long story short, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I could talk forever about it. But I actually was into the sneakers since like 1998. Coming up as a kid, I can never afford the Jordans and all the Nikes, the Penny Hardaways, the foam posits. I can never get that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and whenever I did get a chance to get any of those shoes, I only had like got one pair. And so that means I had to, keep those, I guess that one pair of shoes like clean or whatever like that. So ever since then, I always kind of learned how to keep my shoes clean because my mom wasn't having it. She wasn't buying me a whole bunch of shoes. So I
Right.
always learned how to keep my shoes clean because I only had that one pair to wear. I was wearing them joints like every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you got to keep them fresh. So I don't know, later on, fast forward and, I just got to a point that I see my brother-in-law, you know what I'm saying? He was like booming, like, he got his little beard business and stuff like that. And he was killing it. And I'm like, dang, what could I do? Like, he inspired me to do something.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, man, like, what could I do? And I was like, yeah, I'm into sneakers and stuff like that. And then I was like, one day I was on YouTube and then I seen this guy, he was doing some restoring on some Jordan 8s and I'm like, damn, that looked pretty simple. He had some Angelus paints and stuff like that, some dyes, and he had got some new shoestrings and all that. I'm just looking at the whole video like, damn, I could do that though.
Yeah.
And then I went on the site that he put at the link at the bottom of this video, and everything seemed quite affordable. So I was like, damn, okay, let me get these paint brushes, let me get these paints, let me get these dyes, let me try it out. And so I hit my brother-in-law up and was like, let me try something with your shoes. I'm like, you ain't wearing them. Like, they beat up anyway. So he's like, yeah. He was like, go ahead, man. He was like, just try it out. He's like, I ain't, if you mess up, you mess up. He's like, ain't like I wear them. So I did it. And when I gave him back to him, he's like, bro, he was like, bro, he was like, you got to do something with this. He's like, for real, he's like, you got to do something with this. Yeah. So, and then it's like, ever since then, it's like, I didn't have the name yet. I didn't have He Got Soles. I was just Dre from the block doing sneakers. Right. And it was word of mouth. And then he was like, you got to come up with a name. So I came up with a name. And it's been He Got Soles ever since 2014.
Yeah, something like that. Because I remember when I first got at you, you resurrected a pair of Olympic 7s for me. That's what it was. And them joints had heel separation and all sorts of stuff. And what's wild about those pair was that I got them from my little brother. Actually, my little brother feet started, we started to match the shoe size. You know what I'm saying? And he was getting rid of all these sneakers. I was like, shit, that's some Olympic 7s right there. He was like, man, I don't even watch it, man. Give them here. I know they had the heel separation. So I said, man, but then that's what I know you, we Largo days and all that. But I was like, man, my man, he do the restoration. Boy, when I say you resurrected those things, they still sit up in my closet. They finally died out of me though, man, because I lost the little, they finally started, I wore them out. That's my fault. But
nah. You're supposed to wear your sneakers, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I want to get into. That's what I want to get into because I
got to bring it back. Bring it back. I got some stronger and better stuff too. So even more longevity for you. You know what I'm saying? So as I started those years ago, you learn, you evolve, you get better information, you get better products, you know what I'm saying, along the way. So I got some better stuff for you now, man. So if you do get them back to me, I got you.
Hey man, look, see, man, that's what I'm talking about right there, man. That's why I fooled with you, man. So let's get into it because with the sneaker game and sneaker culture, I always look at it like an art form. I love sneakers. I love hip hop culture. And so, but it gets caught up into the hype of it, right? Buying the newest thing and people get sneakers, flip them and all this and that. But I don't think people really focus on, and I really want people to start focusing on wearing the stuff that you buy. And naturally when you wear them, you're going to put some wear and tear to them. And it is something, Jordan 1s and stuff like that look good with a little wear and tear, but you don't want them beat down. You know what I mean? Right. How important do you think a service like yours and the other people that do restoration, because there's a, it's a whole game. How important do you think a service like yours is to people that just they can't afford to keep buying the new. They just want to take something they had and get it restored.
I think it's tremendously important because at the end of the day, it's an investment. For guys like me and you and everybody else across the globe that sneakerheads, it's an investment. You are paying for these shoes, and to kind of like add on to what you said earlier about wearing your sneakers. Yeah, you buy them to wear them, not just to stock them and put them in your closet. I mean, so I don't believe in that. I wear my sneakers too. So, but it's an investment. So it's very important to take pride and care in your investment. So definitely like wear your sneakers, but at the same time, take care of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I think it's a payoff at the end of the day, not only for yourself, but I ain't gonna lie, you walk the streets and it's like 10 years go down the line, they're gonna be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, he still got them joints. And then, cause I do it sometimes and people be like, dang, like when them joints come out, I'm like, they didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important. You know what I mean? If you are a true sneakerhead and you like to wear your sneakers, you want to step out, you want to look clean and stuff like that. Important, man. And like I said, you spending your $200 or your $300 or however much you spent on that sneaker, it's an investment and keep them clean. You know what I'm saying? Not just to beat them up, dog them, and then you throw them in the closet. That's like $3 down the drain. And, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in just wasting money and just throwing my sneakers in the closet.
Me either, brother. Like I really don't. And it's a massive waste of money, man. I like looking at your videos on your page and I've been there too. I've had that feeling of handing over a pair of, I'm talking beaters. Okay. That's why I really wanted to have you on, because I know folks that do restoration or whatever, and people that do customization. And I want to talk to you about the difference between the two in a moment, but people that do that, but somebody hand you over a pair of beaters, man. I'm talking cutting grass in these joints. They play ball in them. They stink. They messed up. Heel separation, whatever you want to say. And then you do your work on it. I want to talk to you about the processes I'm about to ask you about.
Sure.
But also, so I want to ask you about the process, but I also want to ask you about like that end result that I see in the video. Legit of people, pure joy. Like, oh, look at my Griffies. Look at my, you know what I mean? Like people pure. Yeah. So 2-part question. Talk to me about the process of restoration, and then talk to me about that gratification you get from seeing people so happy, that you resurrected something for them.
Yeah, man. So the process of doing restorations is joyful. For me, it is, because I know how good it feels to have a clean pair of sneakers. So starting out, it could be joyful, but then it can turn real. It can get real quick. Man, it can get frustrating. It's like, oh man, like you start running into problems. And then, I mean, people on YouTube, they make it seem like easy breezy. And sometimes it is, but it's a lot of times it's not. You'll run into problem after problem. It's a lot of problem solving. You know what I mean? How to get this certain stain out, or how to get the glue to bond correctly here, or you just got to keep going back at that same part where it's not sticking the best. So you have to keep doing it until it's finally bonded. That's, we're referring to glues for that, but just everything, man. From repainting, cleaning, gluing. I mean, it's all a process. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's a little challenging, you know what I'm saying? And then it also depends on how beat the shoe is, but, do I enjoy doing it? I do, because again, I mean, it's going to put the smile on that person's face. And it's like something else that my brother-in-law always said is like, in business, it's like you find something to do to correct people's problems, regardless of whatever it is. Like, again, he has the beard business, right? Yeah. So you got some people who don't have beards and they want to grow their beard out. And, oh man, I want to grow a beard. I want my beard to be out here and this and that. Yeah. Woo. So he has a product that can solve that problem. Or people who have like patchy beards and stuff like that, and it's not consistent all the way around. He got that product. So, and it's the same with me. It's like, oh man, my sneakers are beat up and this and that, or they falling apart, or I got this stain on here, man. I hate this stain. I can't get the stain out. It's like, I have that solution for your problem. So, and I think that's the reason why I enjoy it, because I know for a fact that I can solve your problem and I can put that smile on your face at the end of the day. So, but it could be a lengthy process. Sometimes it's a fast process. But at the end of the day, yeah, they are very happy when I give them their sneakers and stuff back. Like, you know, they're sending me like all types of fire emojis.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
or back to them, they be looking at the shoe like, yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, it's a good feeling too, man. I really feel like I did something important, like, you know what I mean? And one of my other clients and good friends, he invests in me from time to time too. He tells me like, look, man, he was like, you doing something for the culture. And you said earlier, you know, talking about, you know, sneaker community and hip hop. I mean, all of that is basically in one, for real, for real. It's like 1 + 2, you know, you got hip hop and you got sneakers. They always are together, you know what I'm saying? But he said, bro, you doing something for the culture. He said, believe it or not, all you sneaker restorators or custom guys, he was like, y'all doing it for the culture, man. And, you know, he always appreciates it. So
yeah. I gotta say, it definitely is, and I gotta say, I agree with that 100%. You definitely are doing something for the culture. It's a beautiful thing. Y'all gotta holler at your brother-in-law too, because I gotta be a patchy little bit here, man. I might need to holler at some of the products for sure. Yeah, tell your brother-in-law holler at me. But yo, before we wrap this thing up, man, I do want to talk to you about the difference between restoration and customization, because I do think it gets mixed up sometimes, right? So just talk to me, like, you know, you specialize in restoration. You don't do customization, right? Or do you?
Well, I do. I have a few, so I do have a few on my page, but I'm known for the restoration because that's what guys come to me most for. So I have done customizations. I have a pair of Air Force Lows that I did probably about 2 months ago. I did a pair of Jordan 1s. This is like last year, but it's like at the very beginning of my new page. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll see it. It's pretty dope customization. So I do both. Yeah. You know, but so the difference between customs and restorations is like, hey, we're gonna leave it factory. We're gonna we're gonna color match as close as possible. You know, we're gonna leave it the same color. And all we're doing is cleaning up, re-gluing, whatever else the case is, to get this shoe looking clean again, but we're not changing the colorway. We're not differentiating at all in any sense. We're not changing the color, or we're not swapping out Nike swooshes or anything like that. We're not doing that. We're not sole swapping, pinning another sole with this sole. Like that's what customs are. Customs is like when you're taking an art form and like you're putting your ideas together and make this like unique shoe. Something else that nobody else got. Nike didn't put it out. Jordan brand didn't put it out. Nobody put it. Like this shoe is specifically something that somebody made for you. You know what I'm saying? So that I mean, that's essentially what a custom is.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's all part of the art form. You know what I mean? Like when you're creating and reestablishing the beauty of the sneaker that may have been lost from just wear and tear. That's a big part of the culture. When you're creating something new out of a silhouette, you know, just from your mind, and you do both, that's definitely part of the culture. Bro, thank you so much for joining me. Before I let you go, though, I have to let you, no problem, man. I got to give you an opportunity to tell the people where they can find you, how they can access your services, all that, man. Let the people know.
Oh, bet. So, this is your boy, He Got Soles. You know, I restore all sneakers. I custom sneakers too. Y'all can find me at TheRealHeGotSoles on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook also. I don't have a special name on there, but you can just find me under Andre Miller. Yeah, I'm giving out my whole government name. I'm with it. I ain't hiding nothing. You know, I ain't got nothing to hide. But you can find me on Facebook as Andre Miller, and you can also find me on Instagram as The Real He Got Soles. I picked The Real He Got Soles because somebody tried to take my name, but it's all good because I got it LLC'd anyway. So website is coming soon. So I just made my final last payment on that. So I'm sure it's going to go live here probably within the next month. But just DM me on The Real He Got Soles on Instagram, and send me your pictures. I can give you a quote, and then we can just take it from there. We can meet up, and then we make it happen. So that's how you guys can get in touch with me. I also have clothes as well, hats and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to really expand this whole thing. So I got my clothing brand coming out. I'm trying to do big and better things. So you guys just stay tuned for it. But The Real He Got Soles.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm telling you, It's a good brother right here. He legit. I've utilized the services several times. I'm gonna be holler at him again for several sneaks, man. Thank you for joining me, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Shout out to Andre, the real He Got Souls on Instagram, man. Super cool dude. It was real cool talking to him, man. I'm hoping to have him back on the show so he can kind of update us on what's been going on with him, man. Shouts out to all the entrepreneurs out there, man. Listen, being an entrepreneur is hard, okay? I am a part-time entrepreneur, and it drives me crazy at times. It's really difficult to put your all into things, man. So shout outs to all the entrepreneurs out there. For real, that's really what the theme of this show has been for the past 2 weeks, man. Like, how to go about it. Sometimes you got to partner with people. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you got to go it alone. And if you're going to go it alone, you get all of the control, man. We talked about this last week. I don't got to revisit it, man. But I just want to give a big special shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there that I've had on this show that are just out there, man. I want to talk to you. If you haven't been on this show and you work within streetwear or sneaker culture or whatever, hit me up, man. I want to get you on the show because I like to showcase people like that. All right. Listen, enjoy the rest of your week. I will be back next week with my fall sneakers and a special guest, so don't miss it. Subscribe to the network and follow us on Instagram, Up On Game Network, at Up On Game Network. Also follow the team at On My Feet Network, at On My Feet Network, and follow me at MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam. Follow me on TikTok. I know it's a lot. At the Butler Did It podcast. Listen, if you go to my page at MSR_Adam, I got a link tree. You can listen to the latest episode of this show. You can listen, you can watch the movie, you can follow me anywhere. All right. And you can also find the team. Listen, man, I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to mind your mental health. Always do that. Mind your mental health. Mind your physical health, ladies and gentlemen. And always continue and never forget to be great. I'm up out of here. Peace.